stop, won't stop, we want justice. Hands off! Hands off! Hands off! Hands off! Hands off! There are thousands and thousands of innocent people that are detained under material witness statute in America. Since 9/11, this is a statute, for those of you who are not aware, where they've imprisoned innocent people and abused them and denied them of their fundamental constitutional rights, their fundamental human rights, their civil rights and their human rights. So please remember, today we're here to protest for them and to protest for their innocence. What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! A journalist was travelling to visit a sick relative. She was actually in the United States filming a documentary on the activists in Ferguson that have been protesting. And she was arrested by the FBI, and she was not allowed to speak to her family for over 48 hours. During detention, she was shackled and handcuffed and made to feel like a criminal, and she was detained under these circumstances without committing any crimes, and this was made clear by the US courts. So today we're not just here standing for the rights of Marzieh, but for all of the activists, journalists and people with a voice that are imprisoned in the United States of America because of their insane laws and practices. So please remember that you're here today not just for one person, but for every person that is there in the States that is unjustly imprisoned and detained, especially those under the material witness statute. This is a statute that has been abused since 9/11, where they've imprisoned minorities and Muslims and Arabs and essentially removed them of all their rights, especially their human rights. What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Free all political prisoners!
Free all political prisoners!
Free all political prisoners!
Free all political prisoners!
Can't stop, won't stop!
We want justice!
The material witness statute warrants the FBI to abduct anybody that it wants and to detain them. When they're detained, they are denied of their human rights, their religious rights, their civil rights. This is something that happened to Marzieh Hashemi. For the last 11 days she was released because she had not committed any crime. However, she was treated like a criminal. She was shackled, she was handcuffed, she was denied her religious rights, and I'll keep repeating, they removed her headscarf, they removed her rights religiously, and they essentially left her in solitary confinement for the last 11 days, despite her not committing any crime. She was not charged with a crime, yet treated like a criminal. What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Hands off!
My hijab!
Hands off!
My hijab!
Hands off!
My hijab!
Hands off!
My hijab!
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out today. First and foremost, I have to thank my creator for helping me get through all of this so far. And second of all of my wonderful family, friends, and people across the world who came together to really have an effect, I believe, in helping me to get out of this illegal detention that I had gone through. I appreciate all of your efforts, and more importantly, I believe than just that is what you're out there doing today, and that is showing your disdain, showing your disgust for what is being done inside of the United States in the name of justice, but we know that it is anything but just, and that's the illegal detentions that are taking place under various names. It can be with the excuse of a material witness, as it was in my case, or so many other excuses can be used. But I know that all of us out on the street today know that any detention against someone's will, when they have done nothing wrong and they have not been charged with a crime, is against humanity. It is illegal. Of course, here in the United States, they say that it is not illegal, but we know otherwise. And so it's wonderful that all of you have come together to show the world that you understand what's going on and to put pressure on Washington to change these illegal laws. It is important that we remember that this can happen to anyone at any time. And that is what makes it even more urgent for us to try to continue to put pressure and get this change immediately. I was fortunate to have a media outlet or presence that this was made known, and people demonstrated around the world. But what about others who do not have access either to the media or do not have money to have good legal representation? This must end. This must end. And we must not be afraid. We must stand together and put pressure on the United States to change this law. And remember, do not fear, because actually it is with fear that repression is increased. It is only with us being able to come together in unity that we can make the positive changes that are necessary to change the present reality on the ground. Thank you all so much, and I would love to be with each and every one of you in all the different cities that you're participating in the world, but know that very much I'm with you all in spirit, and hopefully, if I get the opportunity, would love to meet each and every one of you one day. Thank you so much.
I'd like to welcome, I'm not going to organize this, but I'd like to welcome all of us here today. I think it is the start of something that is very positive and very important. I think with respect to this, the Marzieh Hashemi issue, I think this is a situation where she is more of an example for us and a sign of what is to come. It is the fruit of the demonization of the people who follow our religion, the entire people who follow our religion. It is the fruit of a consistent and incessant activity by the corporate media to criminalize Muslims. And this is something that is spreading. This is something that is increasing year by year and day by day. There's a very interesting hadith by the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he said, he talks about the situation of the Muslims in the end times. With respect to a question of one of his companions who asked about the Muslims later on in history, he said that their numbers will be very great, but they will be very weak, and that the enemies will be able to do anything with them, they'll be able to play with them. We live in times like these, and those kinds of Muslims who they can play with, and who they can manipulate, and who they can treat in any way with impunity, those types of Muslims are those who do not have an organizational approach. They are victims, they are disempowered, and they are disenfranchised. And we have to look at ourselves and see ourselves in this particular reflection. Injustice, or indeed oppression, is inversely related to the level of our organization and unity. In other words, the more disorganized we are, the more disunited we are, the more we are capable of being victims of others. There is no doubt that this unity, this international unity that has come together to support Marzieh Hashemi, had a very important role in putting the United States under observation, which led to them freeing her. If there was nobody to stand up for her, she might still be in that jail today. It has a lot to do with our level of organization. It has a lot to do with our cooperation. Indeed, when you look at our society, we find that our Muslim society is divided. It's divided between men and women. It's divided between takfiris and non-takfiris. It's divided between people who want to cut themselves in Muharram and who don't want to cut themselves in Muharram. It's divided on racial lines. It's divided upon ethnic lines. People north of Pakistan don't want to marry people from south of Pakistan. This kind of stuff is happening all over the world, all over the place. And this type of behavior, this type of disunity between us is what is going to make us vulnerable and victims to these types of people. So the time will come, if only we can have 314 people, it will be enough to be able to create a revolution in this society and in this world. So bad we will have fallen. Brothers and sisters, I want to encourage you all to let us get together. Let us learn also from the struggles that have gone past us in the past. For example, not just the struggles outside this country, but the struggles inside this country, the struggles inside the West. And I want to give you an example of what we call the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. During the time of intense American apartheid, these people realized that there would be poor people, vulnerable people, who would be oppressed by the racist system in the United States of America. So what they did was they put together a legal team to act pro bono to defend the rights of people who have been incarcerated or who have been murdered and who have been victimized. I think we Muslims need to do this. We have so many lawyers among us. These lawyers need to come together and form an organization with the support of the people to be able to stand up at any moment for any one of us who've been caught in an American jail, a British jail, a French jail, a Danish jail, a Chinese jail. Should be able to stand up for them. Where are we? Where's our homes being sent? I don't hear about homes being sent to develop our community in terms of its self-defense. Where are our leaders? What kind of leaders do we have when you're not preparing us to be able to stand up to these people and to be able to defend ourselves? We have to put ourselves under some serious self-criticism. And with that self-criticism, we will be able to have the best leaders, we'll be able to have the best organized community, and we'll be able to have a community to be able to stand up anytime something like this happens. Where is our media watch, people, for example? You know, you can't say one word against Zionism without coming down your throat every 5 minutes afterwards. It's all over the news, it's all over the media. Where is our media watch, for example? Where are our lobby groups? You know, we gotta stop thinking of ourselves as being just simply guests in this country. Stop thinking of ourselves as simply, you know, you gotta be white to be British. You got a British passport, and you have rights to be able to organize yourself and to challenge the system, whatever it does to you. Remember, our empowerment is inversely related to our disorganization and our lack of leadership. We are like a body. We are like a body. And a body has a soul and a body. We find that in a lot of our mosques, we talk about our souls, it's fine, but we do not talk about our bodies. We do not talk about the fact that Muslims need to be economically advancing. We do not talk about the fact that Muslims need to be politically relevant and to be socially relevant in the society and to be able to stand up against all kinds of injustice, not just against us, but against non-Muslims as well. This is what we should be doing. This is where we should be going. And this is where we should be teaching our children. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Hands off.
Hands off.
Loudest of voices, please. Hands off.
Hands off.
Hands off. off!
My hijab!
Hands off!
My hijab!
We're only here for a few more, not too long, 20 minutes, that's not too long. The weather has held up, it's not snowing, it's not raining, so I'm sure we can, you know, get by. So with the loudest of voices, let's annoy them in the embassy. Hands off!
My hijab!
Hands off!
My hijab!
Hands off!
My hijab!
To those that are walking by, just to let you know, an innocent journalist was imprisoned by the FBI in the United States of America, and she was detained, denied of her human rights, her constitutional rights. This took place in the United States of America. We're here to condemn them today. What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Hands off!
My hijab!
Hands off!
My hijab!
Louder! Can't stop, won't stop!
We want justice!
Can't stop, won't stop!
We want justice!
Can't stop, won't stop!
We want justice!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Can't stop, won't stop!
We want justice!
Can't stop, won't stop!
We want justice!
Can't stop, won't stop!
We want justice!
Louder please, what do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
You're sounding tired, everybody please. What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Can't stop, won't stop!
We want justice!
Can't stop, won't stop!
We want justice!
Can't stop, won't stop!
We want justice!
Can you imagine if every journalist in the United States of America was in prison just for what they do and the information that they project to the world? This is insane. Please, journalism! 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 What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Hands off!
My hijab!
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 What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
These sound like you want it. What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Can't stop, won't stop.
We want justice!
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 What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it? What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Hands off!
My hijab!
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 Can't stop, won't stop.
We want justice!
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 What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Louder. When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
An innocent woman was detained by the FBI, shackled, handcuffed, and left in solitary confinement for 11 days. What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
They're only in the embassy today till 5. We want them to hear our voices. We want them to know we will not let this slide. Journalism! Journalism!